Hebron, one of the world's oldest cities. Hebron, birthplace of the nation of Israel. 4,000 years ago, Hebron was the home of Abraham Avinu, the patriarch Abraham. It was here that his son Yitzchak was born, and it was here that he paid a considerable sum to acquire the cave of Machpelah, the burial site of Abraham and Sarah, Yitzchak and Rivka, Yaakov and Leah. The scouts that Moshe sent to survey the land of Israel, including Yehoshua ben Nun and Caleb ben Yefuneh, came to Hebron. David established his kingdom in Hebron and reigned for 7 years before proceeding to Jerusalem. At the temple in Jerusalem, they awaited sunrise in Hebron to determine when to begin their daily work. This is a Herodian structure built 2,000 years ago. What other nation has such a monument? It has no parallel. There is no such thing anywhere else. Where else would you find all the founders of a nation buried in one place thousands of years ago? Abraham and Sarah, Yitzchak and Rivka, Yaakov and Leah. There is nothing like it anywhere in the world. All Jews should come here. Every Jewish child must visit here. Every tourist has to be brought here. The first place I would bring all foreign representatives visiting Israel would be right here. This is the source of our roots. Jewish settlement in Hebron never ceased. Even after the destruction of the temple and throughout 2 millennia of exile, Jews lived in Hebron despite difficulties, restrictions, persecution, and humiliation. 1929, the Arabs of Hebron massacre their Jewish neighbors, killing, slaughtering, raping, and torturing Jews alive, and desecrating their bodies after murdering them. All attempts at returning to Hebron failed. 1967, the Six-Day War. The Israel Defense Forces liberate Hebron. IDF Chief Chaplain Rabbi Shlomo Goren and General Rehavam Ze'evi enter the cave of Machpelah, from which Jewish presence had been barred for 700 years. Jews return to Hebron, return to their roots. The cave of Machpelah again reverberates with the prayers of hundreds of thousands of Jews from all over the world. It is not easy to live in Hebron. Facing a hostile and fanatic Arab population, Israeli government opposition or hesitancy, the Jews who return display much self-sacrifice. It is this sense of mission and sacrifice on the part of the Jewish community of Hebron, this determination to return to the city of the patriarchs and matriarchs, that tipped the scales. Jews were killed and injured by the Arabs of Hebron, but the Jewish community grew and flourished. In 2003, an Arab sniper fired at the infant Shalhevet Pass. Shalhevet was killed and her father wounded. Her death and her funeral outraged the Jewish world. Grieving for its losses, the Jewish community of Hebron held its ground, more determined than ever to remain and flourish. Near the Avraham Avinu neighborhood, the Arab market set up on Jewish land after 1929 was evacuated. The shops became homes for young couples whose children will grow up to be proud Hebron Jews with God's help. The Grabowskis are one such family.
Hebron is unexplainable place. You live here because you think it's important. It's important for your soul, it's important for the people, it's important for Am Yisrael.
To live in Hebron, you need spiritual strength. In this respect, the women of Hebron, well known for their wisdom and courage, are a vital human resource.
Here women are very active in making this possible, making the redemption of Hebron a reality now.
Hebron is crucial to the Jewish people. So women are certainly at the forefront of something that is so crucial.
Rabbanit Miriam Levinger, together with her husband Rabbi Moshe Levinger, headed the campaign to move into Beit Hadassah, abandoned in the heart of Hebron since the 1929 massacre. Despite Arab objections and Israeli bureaucratic obstacles, they fulfilled their mission, eventually establishing a Jewish neighborhood with dozens of growing families.
We told the men to prepare the territory, and we got on a truck and we took our children with us and we went down to Hebron and we moved into the Beit Hadassah building. At the time, I was sure that within 24 hours, either they would give us permission to live in Hebron, or they would force us to go back to Kiryat Arba. What I didn't expect was that Beit Hadassah would turn into a spaceship in which we would travel for the next 2.5 years.
Hebron's Jews faced numerous obstacles: economic hardship, political issues, and security problems, such as the Oslo Accords that ceded most of Hebron to Arafat and his cronies, or the tendency of most Israel governments to withdraw, concede, and give in to pressure. The Jewish community of Hebron has taken full responsibility for restoration of Jewish life, ensuring steady construction momentum, deep and sincere faith, natural population growth, constant expansion, urban development, and superior education for Hebron's hundreds of Jewish children. Kindergartens and schools are filled to capacity. The joyful sounds of Torah study echo through the streets of Hebron. Yeshivat Shavei Hebron began by renovating a small Jewish-owned building that had been abandoned and neglected since 1929. Today it has hundreds of students and is considered one of the most prestigious yeshivas in the Torah world. At Admot Yishai, Tel Romeda, the Jewish community of Hebron established a rabbinic college at the home of the late Rabbi Shlomo Ra'anan, who was murdered right in his home, stabbed to death by an Arab marauder. Rabbi Moshe Levinger conducts lessons for young rabbis. There is no despair in the world at all, said Rabbi Nachman of Breslov. Hebron's Jews know and live by this principle. The Arabs of Hebron are notorious for their fanaticism and cruelty. Friction and physical proximity necessitated marked military presence by the IDF. Hebron men perform their IDF reserve duty in combat units. They and their families maintain a close friendship with the soldiers who guard Hebron. IDF soldiers are regular guests at homes of Hebron residents. Several coffee corners were set up throughout the area, offering hot drinks and cake, especially prepared for soldiers by the women of Hebron. Tel Romeda. At this coffee corner you can see the old coffee urn, damaged by Arab gunfire in one attack on the site. The old urn is riddled with bullet holes, and the new one is busy at work. When the first families began coming to Hebron, many people doubted they would persevere. Today, there's a waiting list of dozens of families eager to move into every available spot. The Jewish community of Hebron is expanding Jewish neighborhoods, buying up houses and land. Soon they'll acquire this entire street with all its shops, ensuring Jewish continuity between the Cave of Machpelah and the Avraham Avinu neighborhood, and from there to Beit Hadassah. With God's help, they will soon begin construction of an 8-story building with 30 apartments in the Chizkiyahu neighborhood.
The presence of a Jewish community in Hebron is a revolution. First of all, it's a revolution in the Israeli and the Jewish world, because Jews lived in Hebron for thousands of years. Hebron was Jewish. The Jews have been massacred here 75 years ago. Now we came back to say Hebron is ours. The forefathers are ours. Eretz Israel is ours, not theirs. We are here. And secondly, is a revolution in the perspective of the whole world, because the Islamic terrorism today endangers and threatens the whole world. Now here we say in Hebron, here the Arab terrorism began. We are here to say the terrorism will not win. We are here, and by God's help, we shall win the war against the Islamic terrorism.
Tel Romeda, known in Hebrew as Admot Yishai. This was the site of ancient Hebron. Archaeological excavations revealed steps trod by Avraham and Sarah, and the gate through which Avraham entered Hebron. Above the site of an archaeological garden that will take us 4 millennia back in history, a tall building was constructed, housing 7 families that had lived here previously in prefabricated sheds. Additional archaeological excavations will be conducted on the land where the sheds stood. Who knows what we'll find there? For it is upon these roots that we are building, with our families, our children, with joy and faith. We are connecting with our ancestors. We're able to do so because we know the Jewish people support us. Jews in Israel and throughout the world stand behind us and give us strength. Thanks to this support, by joining forces, our common efforts in building Hebron will indeed prove successful. Earlier, an Arab terrorist opened fire on Jewish homes in Tel Romeda. Gavriel ben Yitzchak, slightly injured in the attack, fired his rifle at the terrorist and together with his friends, killed him. He and his wife Bracha tell a group of American visitors what had happened to them and their children.
So I ran to the bedroom, although I didn't know I was so vulnerable in the bedroom.
Through the cave of Machpelah, says Jewish tradition, our prayers ascend to the Temple Mount and then to the Creator. The cave of Machpelah is the gateway to the Garden of Eden. The Jewish community of Hebron and the cave of Machpelah administration are developing and preserving the site. They acquired bulletproof buses to bring people here from all over Israel and tend to all necessary conditions for services, including Torah scrolls and prayer books, as well as regular cleaning and maintenance. A Brit Milah at the cave of Machpelah. Another child joins the Jewish people. 4,000 years of Jewish history are embodied here, in the cave of Machpelah. Emotions are high, and rightly so. Hundreds of thousands of people visit the cave of Machpelah each year, especially on Shabbat and holidays. Mordechai ben David, one of the greatest Jewish musicians of our day, comes to support Hebron on Chol HaMoed Sukkot, surrounded by tens of thousands of Jews from all over the world, expressing their joy, faith, and love.
אני מקריית אתא לחברון. אני באתי מעכו לחברון. בצ'ילה עשתה חברון.
זאת אריה חברון.
מרמת גן לחברון.
מנתניה לחברון.
מחיפה לחברון.
מאריאל לחברון ולתמיד.
Hebron, linking Jews with one another. Hebron, linking Jews with their Father in heaven.